had no dad. None of my ain't had no choice. JJ, Mikey, Lil Derek, and them. 79th Street was America then. Ice cream truck and the beauty supply. Blockbuster movies and heroes again. We still catching lightning bugs when the plague hit the backyard.
My name's Astøn, and I'll be hosting today's episode of Lost Culture presents The Shy Season 1, Episode 2, Alee. Now, in this episode, a lot going on. So when we open up, we see Ronnie with his baby moms, and with that, we see how the episode ends. I love how the episode ends for Ronnie. I love how it was a full 360. He ends. It opens up like he's kind of sad. He's going through that little somber moment with his baby moms. Well, it's not really his baby mom, but she's going through that sober moment with his baby moms. Then when we end the episode, he just got that news from Detective Cruz. And I love the way they ended like that. We see he had this whole cycle of emotions within a 24-hour period. That was super dope to me. So with Ronnie, we see with his baby moms, just talking about how she wanted him to have the pictures of Jason when he was a kid. And we see he takes that. We see he goes on with that. He takes the picture. You're talking about the cell phone. For some reason, the big emphasis on that cell phone. We still have not seen that cell phone pop up yet, but there have been multiple emphases on that cell phone. So I think that cell phone is definitely going to be connected with whoever they find is the murderer of Jason. Now, with that being said, we see Ronnie. What is Ronnie doing in this episode? Ronnie's doing a lot. We get to see a little bit more about Ronnie's motivations. We see he's kind of taking care of his grandmother, but not really taking care of his grandmother. And he's being called there by her caretaker due to the fact that his grandmother is being very stubborn. She's in older age. And his grandmother is straight hood, super hood. It reminds me of Brandon and Kevin's mom. Not Brandon and Kevin, but Brandon and Coogie's mom. Coogie's. Definitely remind me of their mom. His grandmother is old. You see, he's accusing her. She's accusing her caretaker of stealing AA batteries, stealing a stovetop lasagna, and we see so we come in. He's cleaning up after her. She's complaining. Oh, look what she's doing. She stole my stovetop lasagna. He goes right to the microwave, pulls it out, and she's like, I know I see how you be looking at her. He kind of breaks the news to his grandmother that he's seeing Jason's mom again. Can't remember her name, but we see Jason's mom. Sees Ronnie's grandmother straight up disrespects her. Oh, she must have diamonds in her vagina because every time I'm looking at you, you're trying to get a piece of it. So we see that happen. We see he definitely defends her as soon as that happens. Going from there, what else do we got Ronnie doing? We got Ronnie walking through the streets. He's like, after his friends telling his friends about this night that he had with his girl, all his friends like, how'd you get back with her? Like, what did you do to get back with her? And we see one of his boys like, yeah, he took care of some stuff for her. And you see Ronnie get real defensive, like, what are you talking about? What you heard in the streets? Because we're in the streets. Apparently, a lot of people know Ronnie did it. Ronnie was looking to see who was arrested for his son's murder. And as soon as Ronnie found out, he found out where he was at. And then something happened to the boy. It's not hard to connect these dots. It's not hard at all. And maybe Ronnie think Kevin did it, which is dumb. Like, hey, if the boy haven't said nothing about you, why you don't go look him out? But we see he goes look for Kevin, and Kevin not having no parts of it. My boy Kevin is super ghost. So we see that happens, and I think that might be the beginning of the doom for Ronnie. And I'm saying that because if he would just let Kevin be, Kevin would have never told Brandon, and whatever Brandon decides to do, that, because I think Brandon about to get into some hood shit, honestly. I think Brandon's going straight to some hood shit. But beyond that, I'm hoping Brandon does it, but we'll find out then. So, off of Ronnie, we got to go talk about Emmett. Emmett had a pretty big cycle of things too. So when we initially opened the episode, we see Emmett at a party with his girlfriend Keisha. We see him and Keisha is dancing while another girl basically dancing for Emmett. Like I said, let's go back to back to Emmett just being young, having a lot of options. Even though his girl is Keisha, he still has a lot of options. We see he has 2 babies already, which we haven't really seen, we just heard about them. And then the third one that he's actually taking care of full time. I couldn't tell if that was his party or not, But we see when he went to like the little room with Keisha, the baby's right there in a corner, and he starts trying to smash, and Keisha's not really having it. So Keisha gets Audi 5000. He picks up the baby, kind of calm him down, and then like when Keisha's storming out, he sees old girl, and old girl basically plays Emmett also, and I respect that. Like, obviously, you bring a kid to a party and you're trying to smash in front of it. That's never a good look, Playboy. Never a good look. You gotta calm down with that. So, with all of that, it's not good at all. Going from there, we got Emmett hanging out with his mom. Emmett's going to work. Emmett's trying to go to work, and he needs a babysitter, so he's assumed his mom would do it. And I've been in that same category too. I have a daughter, and I depend on my mom to babysit sometimes. And Emmett just thought his mom was going to do it. That's off the strength that's his mom's. But no, she is done. No more babysitting for Emmett. She wants Emmett to grow up. And I like the relationship between Emmett and his mom, because while she's being tough on him, she still shows that she cares. Like when we see Emmett goes to work and Q, before we meet the new character Q, which I have a theory about. It's not really a theory. I think it's almost guaranteed that that's Jason's real dad. But I'll talk about Q later. We see when Emmett goes to work, we see his boss basically tells him like we can't have a baby here. That's not what's we're on the street. I'm gonna get a day off. I'm not gonna count it against you, but take the day off and set up some type of child care. And while Emmett's on his way out, we see his boss's brother, who happens to be Q, calls him over and gives him $100. I think that was a bad idea for Emmett. I don't know what those consequences are actually going to be. I don't know what they're going to be, but we see his boss give him a little like hint, like, "Oh, check this lady out. She'll probably babysit for you." Even though that fell through, he did try to help him out in the long run. And I just want to know what those consequences are going to be for Emmett, just as far as Q is involved. We see when he goes to the babysitter, she turns it down until he's like a 2-month wait. So he goes to the park. At the park, he has the thought of abandoning baby Emmett at the park. He's calling his baby moms. He's calling Keisha. He's calling one of the girls and telling them to pick up. But we see when he's calling her, she doesn't pick up. He sees the fancy car drives by with the girls in it. And he's like, dang. Because think about the night before, he's had 2 girls who wanted him. But once they found out he had Keisha already knew he had a baby. But once the baby got involved, it threw a wrench in all those plans that he had. So he's trying to figure out a way to get that back at the same time, just being him again. And while he does abandon the baby for like 2.5 seconds, he just runs across the street. Then he realizes he couldn't do it, picks the baby up, and proceeds to go home. And on the walk home, it seems like the baby actually fell asleep. I don't know what he was doing throughout the day. Maybe he did find a babysitter. We never find out about that. But we see on the way home, the baby falls asleep. So when he gets home, he kind of just go cuddle up with his mom. Which we get to see, like, even though he's going through growing pains. He's literally going through growing pains at the moment. He's trying to man up for his child, but at the end of the day, he still needs his mom to console him, help him out in his situation, and to be there for him. We see when he walks in, his mom telling him, "Hey, Keisha was here for you." And he's like, "I'll worry about that later. I'd rather just chill out with you." And he tells his mom sorry for like the situations and stuff that he puts her in. Which I understand. I like the way they set up that relationship between him and his mom. Now, going on back to Q. Q is a very interesting character because we know nothing about him. We know he's definitely curious about what happened to Jason, and he also has enough money, which he puts money into like the neighborhood. We see when he goes, I think it was something Clark. He goes talk to Mr. Clark, and he was like, "Oh, if you hear anything about Jason's death, make sure you send it to me." And we find out he actually put money inside that stake. He also owns a little, I'm pretty sure he owns a portion of the little pizza place that his brother is running full time. And it actually has to be a family business because he says mom was never this slow. So we see that right there. And we see he's well respected because his brother doesn't even, fight him. Like, he's like, damn, like, his brother, obviously he's into something because his brother doesn't, like, do anything, like, to set him off. So that portion, we see I just want to know more about this character because we know he's in Cuba for a while. We don't know why he went to Cuba, what he was doing in Cuba. He just said he was in Cuba walking around. And he gives him that little story about the slug killing a person. You got 10 minutes and 10 minutes to live until you're either death. And that was a pretty interesting story. I did like that story. But we see it freaked out Mr. Clark or whatever his name is. And that's really all we got for Q. Moving on from Q, we got Kevin. I actually like Kevin. Kevin reminds me when I was his age. I was watching the show with my girlfriend today, and she was talking about like, oh, I can't believe they talk like that. I'm like, where I'm from, that's like absolutely normal the way the kids talk. Like, all they do is cuss, talk about sex, and stupid stuff like that. And that's really what we were on when we were that age. I don't know their exact age, but in elementary school, we used to talk like that because the older kids talk like that. So that's where we learned it from. So Kevin, he has his whole thing going on. We see he's still like in love with Andrea, I think her name was. And we see he sets up Andrea's cousin. Andrea's cousin is super funny. We see Papa didn't want no parts of Andrea's cousin. Kevin and his friends have to be like some of the funniest people in the show. They're definitely my favorite people in the show because they're super, even though they're young and innocent, they just are so, like, they're so silly about the stuff they be talking about. So we see when Kevin's still doing his play and everything, he ditched his friends so he can actually go to the play this time. I don't know what happened between his friend and Andrea, but we see wherever that was is over now, and he's back in the box. He's up swinging again. And we see with all that going on, Ronnie, he's still doing his little stuff. He's doing his little plays and stuff. On his way home, we see Ronnie is after him. We haven't after him, but he's waiting for him. As soon as he see him, Kevin books it. It's so funny. I'm like, man, Ronnie, you gotta get on some water or something. You gotta get rid of that juice because you're definitely in no type of shape at all. Like, there's no boy. Even though he's skinny, he's not in shape at all. Kevin outran him with the ease. And it was just funny to me that even though Kevin outran Ronnie, when it came to Andrea's cousin, boy, that boy ran so slow and got super tackled. So we see the tackle there. We see she like apologizes for not doing the Christian thing, and then she kisses him. She licks his face, like giving that Rick James treatment, and tell him next time if you act right, maybe I'll let you do more. And that, even though Kevin was grossed out, we see he goes home, he's doing his homework. He got the baseball bat set up just in case Ronnie come looking for him. And we see when Brandon shows up, he got the baseball bat. He's talking to him like, "Look, man, the reason I told you that information, because I thought you would kill him and get him off my back." Which it then puts Brandon in a tough situation because he did give Brandon the information, and while Brandon is trying to respect his brother's memory, at the same time, he's not the street dude. That's not what he is. He's definitely not the street dude. So to protect Kevin when he couldn't protect Coogie, he has to get into some street shit. So I want to see how that turns out. I want to see what path Brandon ended up going down, like what path he's forced down. So another thing that I missed over, we're talking about Kevin, we see, even though Kevin isn't involved in the street stuff, or his friends are, which the one with the dress is like he's going to be leaning towards that way because of his brother. We see he has $100 because he watched one of the drug dealers' car, and his brother is involved with some people that be in the whole little drug business or whatever. So I want to know how that's going to turn out. There was a little subtle line they talked about, like, I want to ask my brother about that when he'd be hanging out with them or check his socials. And I want to know more about those people. We don't really get to figure out too many people. We had the same 6 characters that we had last time. Well, still 6 characters. Took out Coogie, added in Q. Still 6 main characters we're talking about. We're talking about Brandon's girlfriend and Keisha. We could add them into the mix, and then Emmett's mom. There's a couple people right there. But the same main 6 characters we follow around, and then their auxiliary counterparts. So going through all that, we see Brandon. So in this episode, I'm not going to do Brandon. I'm going to do Brandon last. I'm going to go over to Detective Cruz. Detective Cruz, we see he's still out looking around trying to get information about the kid's death. He got partnered up with someone in the gang unit, and he's trying to figure out what the gang unit has to do with the Coogie side, and what information like he's not being told. Obviously, there's something else going on in this investigation that he's not being told about, and he just wants to know. So he's asking about it. Everyone telling him, "Oh, only need to know basis." So he goes and visits Jason's site. We see the whole painting up for him. We see he's looking over the file for Coogie, and he definitely feels some type of responsibility for it. And we see that when he goes and approaches Ronnie about the murder of Coogie. He's telling him, like, look, he didn't do that. I told you about it. I shouldn't have told you about it. And now that kid is murdered. He's dead. And I think you had something to do with it. And if you did, I want you to know you murdered someone for no reason. You murdered the wrong child. Now, the same pain you were feeling for your child being murdered, you went out and caused another family that for no reason. So I hope you know you're the same conscience, that same issue. Then going from there, we see he goes and meet Brandon. When he goes talk to Brandon about it, he tells him how Coogie affected him, how Coogie told him to get Tim. He shows Tim. Brandon wasn't really feeling that though. Brandon was not feeling that at all. So he really didn't get anything from Brandon. But from there, we see Cruz goes and meets the other guy he was partnered with on the case, and that guy's a straight asshole to Cruz. I don't know how Cruz is still, like I said in the last episode, Cruz is being bullied. Cruz has no respect in the department. We see where him and Cruz are talking, when Cruz and the partner is talking, the partner just pours the coffee right outside the door, right on top of his Tim's, like it was nothing. Very disrespectful guy. At the same time, he still invites Cruz to come join his softball team, and Cruz accepts for some reason. Like, Cruz, why would you accept that this dude talks shit to you on a regular basis? I don't really understand that, Cruz. I really don't understand that, but hey, doesn't really matter. So that happened. Going from there, now we can talk about Brandon. Brandon might be the main character of the show. I don't really know. So many characters. It's definitely an ensemble cast. But Brandon, we spent a lot of time with him. We see Brandon went to go see his mom because they were planning on cleaning out Coogie's room. She's definitely been affected by it. He goes to the house. We find out she hasn't done repairs to one of her properties. We see he tells her where to find his mom at. He goes down to the bar, and we get to meet his mom's boyfriend. And as soon as we see him, he kind of disrespectful. He asks, "Is this the smart one?" So if he's the smart one, that kind of make Coogie the dumb one. Kind of disrespectful. Brandon's not having that. Brandon definitely not having it. So he gets to the argument with a damn near fights the guy. Mom's not having it. So Brandon walks off. When he comes back later, we see Brandon goes into his brother's room. Mom's in there sleeping because she misses him, looking at all of his drawings and everything. And I gotta say, Coogie was very active. Like, we see all the skateboards, we see all the drawings. Very talented guy. I love when they show like the folder, but the picture that Coogie drew. I'm assuming that was him and Brandon back to back. Like, they always have each other's back. And after everything that Kevin told him, everything that he's going through, because Brandon's been mourning this whole episode. We see when his girl walks in the house, he's looking at pictures of Coogie and he's crying. We see he's talking to his homeboy about, like, I think I know who murdered my brother. He's down to ride, whatever. Like, look, you got a gun, I'm gonna need you to get one. If you don't, I need you to get one. When we gonna fix this? And we got all that. Then with him meeting Kevin, I think he's trying to take Kevin under his wing. That's definitely going to be kind of like a brother to him. I guess he's going to be the character that takes over Coogie for him. I feel like that's going to be a strong relationship right there. Kevin's definitely going to be Brandon's little adopted brother, I guess so. And I actually like seeing it. I don't mind that happening. I want to see how that turns out. We see Brandon can definitely get Kevin that guidance he needs in his life, because Kevin definitely is in a spot where he can go either way. He can definitely go towards the streets, or he could go towards a legit path where he can get an actual job. Because we see he definitely has a tendency. He's definitely with Andrea. She kind of keeps him out the streets. But when Andrea's not there, he's definitely doing dumb shit with his friends. I think Brandon could be definitely a good role model for Kevin, and I'm pretty sure Kevin's going to take that role, that void that Brandon is missing with Coogie. So I'm hoping that it takes over. I'd love to see that happens. From there, that's really all we got. Once he see that picture, he go outside, call his boy like, look, that thing you were talking about, we needs to do that. We needs to do that. And that was really it for this episode. I really enjoyed it. I don't know what, I used to have to do like a power thing. I used to like the power play of the road, but the most shy move today would have had to have been Ronnie. When Ronnie was selling a gun. No, it was cute. It was cute. It definitely, shy moment of the week had to be cute. When Q gave Emmett the money, like, oh, we definitely a player move. Gave him the money and then said, hey, we need more man who's stepping up in this neighborhood like this. So I give it to Q. Don't know much about it, but Q definitely gets the shy move of the week. And it was a really good episode. I really did like it. So I don't think this was better than the last one. I think it was definitely it's on par with the last one. It was definitely a strong follow-up. We had to see more of the characters. I don't know if it was better than the first episode, but it was definitely a good follow-up to it. I enjoyed it. I definitely love the scenery and everything. And I'm hoping this show keeps going. I hope it stays as strong as it is. With that, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, stay lost.
Some friends just stay.